Boy, last episode sure did happen, huh? Yeah. A clock has been started. We'll get updated on things in a couple in-game months. Let's go meet someone else. Suppose I can let Smart Autopilot handle the travel for me. Also, what the hell is happening here? Come on. Come on, this isn't supposed to break until I start cycling through the maps. Now you're just broken from the beginning? Zeta Sextanus is not marked here in known Rainbow World locations, but thankfully we do have our notes. And based on the information provided to us, even if we didn't have a star search functionality, we would know that it's somewhere between Shofixty space and Mycon space, somewhere between Delta Gorno and Beta Brahe. And indeed, we did fly past the sucker. Came close to it. Earlier on in this playthrough. Zeta Sextanus is here in southern Vux space. I zoom in over there. You can see the star where we were at, Iota Serpentis. And then we went right on by. We do not need to visit all 10 Rainbow World locations. You would have to explore to find all 10 of them, or of course, look them up. Ask a friend. You are given hints for half of them, I want to say. Maybe 6 at most. 5 come to mind. So yeah, anyway, we're not doing that. I don't need the credits. I'm good. You've seen enough Rainbow Worlds already. All right? Great. Let's, I suppose I'm going to use the portal spawner again, so I can't rely on Smart Autopilot. I'd have to turn on the Advanced Autopilot. I'm too scared to do that. I don't need this vehicle to self-drive. Alright. Let me double-check. Yeah, I want to go to that one. The portals I'm going to be using this episode, I've been in both of them, so shouldn't be an issue. And I do think I am going to be using 2 portals this episode, but I suppose that depends on how much time I spend in interaction, yeah? We're heading for Beetlejuice. I'm not saying it again. I know better. Probably. I'm a mono-monitor individual. I gotta flip my notes. Like, Grimith, you'll be more productive if you have multiple monitors. I enjoy my one monitor, thanks. I've tried. Multiple monitors. I'm just a mono-monitor kind of man. Exclusive relationship with one monitor at a time. If you want to, have, like, monitor fuck buddies, polygamy. It's all cool. It's not me. We'll head for the obvious slave shield and prepare for this experience. I don't actually know how everything's going to look in the HD Megamod. Let's go.
Attention unidentified space vessel. Be warned. This slave world and its inhabitants belong to the Ur-Quan. I am Starbase Commander Talana of the slave planet Gaia. Your ship is not responding to standard hierarchy identification sequences. You are therefore classed as independent and... What? Is my monitor display correct? Is that a human commanding that vessel? Who are you guys?
Okay, I can laugh while muted. So we could say we're the ethics police, justify that costume immediately. I am the right one for you, baby. We're greatly impressed, or I am Captain Grimith of the flagship Starlock.
Hello, Captain. But you haven't answered my question fully. Why are you here? Where are you from? Has the slave shield been lifted from Earth? Are the Ur-Quan finally defeated? Simply put, Captain, what do you want from us?
We have come here to free you from slavery to the Ur-Quan. To be honest, we need your help to destroy the Ur-Quan. Hey, baby, what I need is you. What I need right now is a touch-o-vision. To be honest, we need your help to destroy the Ur-Quan. That is factually correct. In order for us to obtain the device the Mycon are guarding, we do have to use your assistance or shenanigans, which would take a few years to execute. So, your help, please.
Look, Captain, I like you. Even though you're an obnoxious human, I like you. In another time, we might have become good friends. Perhaps more, but that's a fantasy. And my job is dealing with reality. We're not going to do anything to jeopardize what we've got here. We've come too far, lost too much, to ever risk losing Gaia, our new home. Don't get all judgmental on me, Captain. You don't know what we've been through.
Talana, have you ever heard of the Deep Children? So, Commander Talana, what are you doing here? Would you tell me a bit about your people and your culture? Come on now, isn't that outfit knife included a bit absurd? Goodbye, Commander Talana. I will be back. So, I mean, you're a Starbase commander. I'm familiar with those. But how did you specifically end up in this post?
When the Ur-Quan conquered us, over 20 years ago, I was only a young girl living in Habitat 31. My older sister, Diani, was a starship officer in the Space Patrol. She was part of the final defense at Raynet. She didn't make it back. When the Ur-Quan caught us in open space, we all thought we were going to die. But then, instead of killing us, the Ur-Quan offered us a choice. We could join the ranks of their combat thralls, or we could be slave-shielded on our homeworld. Like the people of Earth, we chose peace. We became follow slaves. When the Ur-Quan told us to return to our homeworld, we explained that we had none. Ur-Quan Master 9 explained that they had encountered this situation before, and if we would provide them with a list of our requirements, they would use their extensive astronomical data stores to find a planet for us. So, we told them about Syra, about the color of its sky, about the abundant, varied life forms, about the fertility of the soil and seas. Less than an hour later, we received a terse message from Master 9. We were to proceed to these coordinates and disembark. This was to be our new home. I don't know how or why, but our new world, Gaia, was everything we described and more. We'd been searching for a home planet for 75 years, and in the end, it was our enemies who gave one to us. I grew up on a small island off the main continent, and like all my people, we lived each day under the thick red glow of the slave shield. When the Ur-Quan arrived 7 years ago to refurbish and recrew this starbase, I was selected as the new commander.
So what happened to you at the end of the war?
When we first met your people, we'd been wandering through the stars for almost 75 years, ever since the death of Syra, our home planet. We joined your alliance, and I use the word joined loosely, because we had no other choice. The Vux were raiding our slow habitat columns, and we had nowhere else to go. We fought for survival, Captain, nothing more. When your people on Earth were defeated, the Alliance just plain fell apart. The Yihas and the Shofixi retreated to their native stars and didn't want us to follow. The Arilu, those creepy little weasels, just plain bugged out, vanished, leaving us alone, with nowhere to go, smack in the path of the oncoming Ur-Quan armada. What were we supposed to do? Fight? 2/3 of our habitat fleet was unarmed. Many aren't even superluminal. We were going to be annihilated if we resisted, and we knew it. When the Ur-Quan surrounded us and started giving orders that all ended with, or die, we took them at face value. We obeyed. In exchange, they gave us Gaia, the planet below. It's a beautiful world, Captain. I wish I could show it to you. So don't misunderstand me. We love our freedom as much as anybody else, but we've got a good life here, and we don't want to lose it.
I am glad I chose to avoid all encounters with the Syreen and seeing how they would appear in our HD MEGAMOD experience and how they would sound in our HD MEGAMOD experience so that I could capture it live, we'll say. So my first time could be preserved, so I can reflect on this footage and know that moment. Yeah. If you love freedom and hate the Ur-Quan, why won't you help us? I mean, it seems obvious, but I question whether the captain's paying attention here.
Like I said before, Captain, we would like to help, but we are unwilling to risk losing Gaia. Unless you can find a much more compelling reason for us to get involved, you are on your own.
Would you tell me a bit about your people and your culture?
Our bodies are very similar, Captain. Except for certain parts. I mean, what I'm trying to say is that our species are almost identical. Almost too close a match to be just a coincidence. Well, our cultural development is also mostly parallel. Like you Earthlings, we evolved a society from primitive tribes whose main function were to protect themselves from the large reptiles native to our old world. The main difference between our two sets of cultures, the split in the paths of our development, occurred in what would have been your prehistory, say 5000 BCE. In your world, the agricultural communities which formed from hunter-gatherer tribes were conquered by the more primitive, but also more aggressive, migratory herding peoples. This led to a particular kind of sexual and political dominance structure, which pervaded almost all of your Earth cultures until the early 21st century. On Syra, our only primitive migratory tribes were confined to our mountainous regions. Their herd beasts, the Ima, did not do well in the agricultural basins and plains. Therefore, the two cultures were isolated until much later, when the technological superiority of the farmers curtailed any major conflict.
I will admit I have had some difficulty focusing on the dialogue, so it helps that I will also be able to rewatch this video. I'm not even going to bother opening the conversation log. And in my case, it's my example, like, just during that exchange, I'm there. That's where I've been looking, going, huh, that's not distracting. Maybe you won't be able to unsee it now. What was Syra like?
It was our paradise, Captain. Our Eden. You would call our world Beta Copernicus 1. We called it Syra. You may wonder about our relationship with the Mycon, who now control that area of space. When we lived on Syra, their sphere of influence was much smaller. We never laid eyes on a Mycon until we met them in combat during the war. But back to our beloved Syra. Earth is the only world we know of whose variety and richness of life even comes close to Syra. Again, like so many other things about our two species, our worlds were very much the same, at least before you began encasing yours in concrete and plastic. Syra's gravity was a bit lighter than Earth, and its days slightly shorter. Our diurnal cycle is, therefore, quite compatible with yours. We spend 14 hours awake, followed by 7 hours horizontal.
Talana knows a hell of a lot about Earth, yeah? and Earth's history. What else do you do? Just being vertical and then horizontal. Some people think about the Roman Empire, some people think about Earthlings. What happened to Syra? Aren't the Roman Empire... Shh. What happened to Syra?
The death of our world. This subject is very difficult for us, Captain, but I will try to recount those sad days. Like your solar system, ours had a large population of comets and asteroids. Large meteor impacts, though rare, were not unheard of on our planet. So it was not a total shock when an asteroid penetrated our atmosphere and hit the surface. What was odd was that unlike most other meteors, this one was not pulverized on impact. It penetrated the crust, and indeed went all the way through to the mantle, causing a major caldera, kind of a supervolcano. The earthquakes caused by the impact were severe. The magma pumped out of the caldera wreaked significant damage on the nearby terrain, but within a few weeks it had cooled, forming a solid rock bandage over the wound. Within a few months, We had cleaned up the mess. The caldera was calming down nicely, and things were pretty much back to normal. Then, just over a year after the impact, all hell broke loose on the surface of Syra. Huge calderas were opening all over, not just around the meteor impact, but everywhere. The scope of the disaster was impossible to imagine. Entire cities sliding into oceans of molten lava. Kilometer-wide sections of land being instantly pulverized by cataclysmic explosions, and clouds of poison gas and superheated steam, creating a death shroud around Syra.
I will say I do like the lighting on the leg. It's a good touch with everything that's happening in the background. Yeah, I do like the lighting. Well, I'll be back.
Until then, Earthling.
Yeah, until then. So, you could see where our dialogue interactions will go from here, but look, I was wondering whether future Grimith should interrupt, like, when I started laughing, but I'm gonna go ahead and save the game here, and you're gonna have an interlude from future Grimith. You'll come back to me soon, okay? Hi, future Grimith here, and you are getting a treat. Me applying myself. You know, I didn't do this for any other alien species in this revisit. And I think that says something. What have I done? Well, saves aren't easily transferable between the HD MEGAMOD and the base Ur-Quan Masters project, so I put a fresh install of the project's 8.0 on my computer. Then I used a save editor, which I'll link in the video description, to make a perfectly legal vessel and fly it up to Betelgeuse. Sure, I could have inserted old video footage from my original playthrough, but I wanted to capture this experience. Just a taste. It didn't take too terribly long. Let's go up to the Syreen without any cross-pollination or interference from the MEGAMOD at all, and experience that interaction again.
Attention, unidentified space vessel. Be warned. This slave world and its inhabitants belong to the Ur-Quan. I am Starbase Commander Talana of the slave planet Gaia. Your ship is not responding to standard hierarchy identification sequences. You are therefore classed as independent. And what? Is my monitor display correct? Is that a human commanding that vessel? Who are you?
So the hand and the leg are both doing work. You know, the lighting on this, quite beautiful. There's no distracting, like, panels over here, but this is still very much active. The Syreen Penetrator is... it's still there. It's definitely a different aesthetic, though. For sure. Now, of course, the overall composition, the subject matter, that does remain the same. I am Captain Grimith of the flagship Starluck.
Hello, Captain. But you haven't answered my question fully. Why are you here? Where are you from? Has the slave shield been lifted from Earth? Are the Ur-Quan finally defeated? Simply put, Captain, what do you want from us?
To be honest, we need your help to destroy the Ur-Quan.
Look, Captain, I like you. Even though you're an obnoxious human, I like you. In another time, we might have become good friends. Perhaps more. But that's a fantasy, and my job is dealing with reality. We're not going to do anything to jeopardize what we've got here. We've come too far, lost too much, to ever risk losing Gaia, our new home. Don't get all judgmental on me, Captain. You don't know what we've been through.
All right, goodbye. We'll be back.
Until then, Earthling.
I think that's enough of a sample for those of you unfamiliar with how this game looks, the aesthetic of it, outside of the HD MEGAMOD, to experience it. Great. Fantastic. All right. Let's get back to the reality we're going to be living in this revisit. Future Grimith out. Let's get back in there.
Hello again, pleasant human. It warms me to greet you again.
Captain looks up at the crew. The crew make various gestures. The captain sighs. Come on now, isn't that outfit, knife included, a bit absurd? Like, just imagine, like, having that strapped to you. Come on, like, look, really. Just think about, like, the functionality of that. Like, you're like, oh no, I stabbed myself in the fucking hand while trying to, I don't know, function in my work and my everyday life. Cleaning out a dishwasher, oh, stabbed my hand. Using a broom, oh, stabbed my hand. Oh, slipped out of the holster. Yeah, holster, I guess we'll call that technically. the knife strap. Look, what the fuck?
Maybe some other time, Captain. I can show you the hidden functionality of my uniform. Knife included.
And that opens up new dialogue, which... What happened to the males of your species?
When Syra was destroyed, the only people who survived were in orbit, and most of them were members of our newly established, mostly female space patrol. From their ships, their orbital platforms, and their lunar outposts, they watched Syra die. Within 3 days after the cataclysm began, the surface temperature of Syra had risen by almost 75 degrees, above the boiling point of water. It became clear that Syra, our paradise, our Eden, was gone. The survivors spent years in orbit. They made a few missions to the surface and actually found a handful of survivors, but mainly they prepared for departure. The Space Patrol fitted makeshift drive units to anything that could hold air, orbital factories, research pods, even hotels. When the fleet was ready, they left orbit and never looked back. The final population of our species was less than 10,000, with only 500 males, but they were the best and brightest of our people. For the next 75 years, our people wandered in sublight speed through the stars, looking for a new home.
I feel like that answer encompassed a lot which didn't involve my question, but we got to something that I had expected her to mention. So I went digging around to get that. And you keyboard warriors who might be coming in fresh and hot from last episode, here we go again. How many Syreen are there? So, that's what happened. Almost all of them died. Less than 10,000 remaining survivors total. 500 males. By the way, that there in orbit is the Syreen Penetrator. Yes, that is the name of the ship. And yes, that is how the ship looks. Well, asking Talana whether she ever gets lonely is kind of fucked up. It's not like we ever asked Hayes that question. Have you ever heard of the Deep Children?
Yes, I think so. Aren't they part of the Mycon religion somehow? We have recordings of Mycon hyperwave transmissions from the war. Pretty weird stuff. The Mycon just kind of rambled, never making much sense. They talked a lot about the Deep Children and spheres of light, but we couldn't ever understand what they were talking about.
What if I told you that Mycon Deep Children shatter planet crusts? Like your Syra. Like getting in between the crust and the mantle.
What? What did you say? Human, you had better not be joking. Syra is not a subject for Earth humor. Now what do you mean? Shatter planet crusts? How? That is what happened to Syra, yes, but we presumed it was a natural cataclysm, a meteor. Do you have proof that it was something else? These Deep Children?
Besides all of the sensor log evidence of us landing on multiple shattered worlds, I have brought proof that the Mycon Deep Children destroyed your world, Syra.
Let me see this proof, Captain.
Look at these fungal egg sacs. We found them near a crustal puncture on a shattered world. I'll hold them up to the vid screen.
Great God! These fragments! They are identical to the debris we found near the puncture on Syra. We never guessed that the fragments might be organic. to have survived re-entry, nothing organic would remain. Unless it was genetically constructed for this purpose, and only the Mycons possess this capability. We will make further tests, genetic comparisons, compositional analysis. If what you have suggested is true, the Mycons will pay dearly for their crimes. Now leave us, Captain. We have work to do.
The capital letters, not so easy to read, but the sentiment is conveyed. Let's bring it back.
Captain, the secret of the Mycon's monstrous murder of our planet has changed the attitudes of many of my people. We will not sit here and do nothing while the Mycon fiends are free to roam the galaxy, perpetrating their evil. You wanted our cooperation in fighting the Ur-Quan. You've got it, provided you first help us seek our revenge against the Mycon race. Help us to destroy them.
Okay, so what do you want us to do? So what do I get for this, eh? I'm just not sure. This sounds dangerous. So what do you want us to do?
Our first step is to get some mobility. We have some fine Starship officers on board, and they are all eager to go after the Mycon. But without our penetrator starships, we're totally ineffective. So our first step has to be recovering our Space Patrol combat fleet. We know that the Ur-Quan didn't destroy them. They never waste anything. But we believe they have sealed them in some kind of deep vault in the surface of an alien planet.
And maybe the Syreen don't have a whole lot of resource units. Maybe they don't have the blueprints to make more penetrators. Maybe the Space Patrol had a lot of them. I've already been there. The vault is on the moon of Epsilon Camelopardalis 1, but I couldn't open it. I sincerely forgot. This was a dialogue option. We're rewarded for me going there first! Yeah!
Wonderful! Then the job is already almost complete. Captain, we have assembled a small team of our most skilled officers. We will send them to your ship on board their own small shuttle. We feel that in the interest of efficiency, we keep our officers away from your crew, at least until the mission is over. As soon as you arrive at the vault, our people will take over, figure out a way to open the vault, and bring our penetrators back here.
So if we hadn't already been there, we would have gotten a description about, like, a brief sort of like blurb on where the star could be to narrow down our reach. Well, you know, we already found the thing, thanks to the Zokfot pick. Very well then, Commander Talana, I'm on my way. Just remember, I'm doing this for you, sweet cakes. If I die, just remember that I really like you. And the other two options we already seen. I'm on my way.
Good luck, brave Earthling. When your mission is successful, maybe then we can get to know each other better.
Looking at video length and what future Grimith intends, yeah, well, I said we were gonna use hyperspace again this episode, and I won't be called a liar, alright? I won't. I think Grimith changed his mind so he wouldn't be lying, but no, we're gonna use quasi... Did I say cyberspace? I am fucking... I don't know whether I did, but... we're going to Sol. Okay? But Grimith, that's not where the vault is. That is delightful, though, that if you actually went to see that already, the captain pieces it together, that's actually the vault. It's great. I've probably seen that before. That's good game design. Yeah. Hayes, what's with the outfit? Do you get lonely sometimes? I'm doing this for you, sweet kicks.
Hello, Captain.
Can your scientists analyze what I've acquired since my last visit? Looks at fuel, narrows eyes.
The analysis reads as follows. Subject Syreen pilot shuttle. Data? As yet, the field research team has failed to report back to their group leaders. When we called them, they described being deep in study and wished to attend to a few important details before returning to the base. Summary? Several group leaders have volunteered to assist the team to help them where they can. That's the end of our scientist report.
What was with that voice, Hayes? Goodbye, Commander.
We shall await your return, Captain.
Yeah. Yeah, that happened. Next time, I go fetch the vault and then I've rolled my eyes. Look forward to that.